Straight ahead on 12 News, an academic dean with a pretty good shot. Plus,
the big problem in the industry is just finding new people.
The hurdle for the construction industry, but also what's booming right now. But first, police arrest a suspect linked to gym locker thefts all over the West Metro. 12 News starts right now. Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. Charges are pending against a man accused of stealing cash and credit cards out of lockers of local health clubs, including gyms in Maple Grove, Plymouth, and Champlin.
Police arrested 38-year-old Ronald Guy after executing a search warrant of his Minneapolis home last week and finding items police say he purchased with stolen credit cards. Delane Cleveland joins us now with more. Delane?
Mike and Alex, investigators say Ronald Guy gained access into different Lifetime and LA Fitness clubs by schmoozing his way past front desk personnel. He then makes his way into the men's locker room, pries open lockers, and steals people's wallets.
Right now, we know that he's been involved in at least 10 separate thefts, and that he has then obtained over $25,000 in merchandise and gift cards and different property from stores from these stolen credit cards.
Police say he hit this Lifetime Fitness in Champlin at least twice in the past month. He would then go across the street to Target and purchase hundreds of dollars worth of gift cards and other merchandise. Surveillance video captured images of Guy's face and the black Dodge Charger he used as transportation. Police say it matched suspect and vehicle descriptions from similar incidents in Eden Prairie, Apple Valley, Plymouth, Hopkins, Fridley, and Maple Grove. Investigators were able to positively identify him after putting the images on social media.
We got excellent response, and we have to thank the community, because without their assistance and identification of this person, we wouldn't have found him because we didn't know who we were looking for.
Well, police are looking to charge Ronald Guy with felony theft by credit card fraud. As of this afternoon, investigators say he has not been charged, but they say it's only a matter of time because there are so many health clubs in so many different cities involved. Mike?
All right, thank you. We now know how the frightening scene at a Plymouth apartment complex ended when a suspect who had just killed his girlfriend was surrounded by police. The medical examiner says 28-year-old Corey Perry died of a self-inflicted shotgun wound to the head. Moments before, there was an exchange of gunfire with Plymouth police. One officer was struck and suffered minor injuries. Plymouth police say the officers involved were Steve Larson, Plymouth police officer since 2005, and Officer Quincy Grabaugh, employed with the department since 2013. Well, today in Brooklyn Center, we'll look at the state of the construction industry.
And this year's job numbers paint a much rosier picture in construction than they did just a few years ago. Reporter Shannon Slatton explains what issues the industry is tackling now.
It's still got a long ways to go from its heyday.
After a 5-year standstill on construction, the floodgates are back open.
There is a pent-up demand at some point that's going to need to be filled.
New homes are going up, but face tough competition from lower-priced existing homes. New codes and regulations often drive up the price.
The biggest hurdles for our industry, especially in the new home construction, are that the disparity in cost from existing homes to new homes.
But building single-family homes isn't as popular as it once was. A new trend that appeals to both millennials and seniors is apartment living.
The apartment area, we've had a big boom. There's no question about it. I think everybody's waiting to see if that boom's going to just pop at some point, and the bubble will pop. At the same time, there's a lot of people want to live in apartment buildings.
As the trend shifts to apartment living with a growing sector focusing on senior living, there's also a challenge.
A big problem in the industry is just finding new people.
It's a topic that came up more than once at a construction industry conference in Brooklyn Center. Demand for construction is up in all sectors, but the supply of workers is low and could get lower when retirements start rolling in.
The average age in the industry is pushing 50 or higher, and they say over 50% of the people that were in our industry in 2008 aren't here anymore and probably won't come back. So there's a real challenge.
Those who work in the industry say a solution will come, because if well-paying jobs are here, people will come to learn and work.
Demand is there for certainly in commercial and in a lot of apartments, as we're seeing in your area right now. We're seeing this area right now. We're seeing a lot of new apartments.
In Brooklyn Center, Shannon Slatton, 12 News.
About 25,000 more people work in construction now than at the end of the recession.
In Plymouth, we could see construction this summer of new single-family homes in the northwest part of the city. A development called the Preserve at Meadow Ridge is proposed for an area near a new elementary school under construction. That plan calls for 13 homes and would require the construction of a new street that would connect to Troy Lane. Another development called Dunkirk Gateway proposes 29 new homes near the Plymouth Dog Park. The Plymouth Planning Commission is recommending approval.
Meanwhile, plans are in the works to add classroom space to several elementary schools in the Robbinsdale district. This week, the Crystal City Council approved a 12,000 square foot expansion of Forest Elementary. It would be large enough for more than 130 additional students. The expansion is mostly for new classrooms. One school board member says student population did not decline as expected, and there's actually been a slight uptick in students. The work is expected to start this summer. Additions are also planned for Noble Elementary, the C School, and Robbinsdale Spanish Immersion. School lunch prices in the Osseo School District are going up, and the big reason is not an increase in the cost of food. The Osseo School Board approved a 10-cent increase for all its schools. School officials say the money is needed to meet federal equity rules. Schools are required to make sure state and federal aid for free and reduced price lunches does not subsidize students who pay the full price.
Hennepin County is moving ahead with a plan that elections officials hope will speed up voting. The county gave preliminary approval today to a $4.5 million purchase of electronic poll books. The small computers were tested in an election last year in Minnetonka. Elections officials say they can update rosters quicker than the paper version, and they also allow the county to immediately flag an absentee ballot that can't be accepted when a voter also cast a ballot in person. Coming up, a standout student who may tell you to go take a hike.
Then a little bit later in sports, a high-scoring game as Providence Academy meets Minneapolis in the boys hockey playoffs.
But first, taking a walk on the mild side. Temperatures approach 50 on Friday.
This week's standout student is from Maranatha Academy in Brooklyn Park.
He is someone who excels in the classroom and also in rugged situations in the great outdoors. We get his story from Eric Nelson.
Caleb is a remarkable kid.
Remarkable is just one adjective that describes Caleb Derosier. Fantastic and outstanding are also applicable.
Academically, he's excellent. Super likable kid. Let's put it this way, I'd hire him.
Derosier is a senior at Maranatha Academy with a 4.3 GPA. He is going to UM Duluth or the South Dakota School of Mines next year and will probably major in computer science.
He is ready for college. He's ready to go and be successful there.
I really like AP Calculus. I do enjoy that. I just like math in general, I guess, and just logic. I also do enjoy AP Literature.
Derosier is also an avid hiker and has completed the grueling Superior Trail, which runs 296 miles from northern Minnesota to Canada. The trail time was a bonding session for Derosier and fellow students.
It's definitely helpful as far as preparing for difficult situations. I did enjoy it, though. The fellowship with other students was definitely beneficial.
We do these trips in chunks of about 35 miles, and so Caleb's come back for at least 9 trips. Rain, snow, sleet, hail, high winds, cold temperatures, and he keeps coming back for more.
Derosier is someone other kids look up to.
Oh, he's absolutely a leader, but he's a quiet one.
And is dependable in the classroom or on the trail.
He's the first up and on the trail, ready to go every day. He's dependable. I can always expect that he will march his way through any hardship, never complains.
Bottom line is, Derosier seems destined for success.
I believe that he is a kid who will make it wherever he wants to go.
In Brooklyn Park, I'm Eric Nelson, Channel 12 News.
The 2 students from the Robbinsdale area schools have been nominated for the Minnesota State High School League's AAA Awards.
The awards honor excellence in academics, the arts, and athletics. Isaac Griffin Wiesner of Cooper High School maintains a 3.99 GPA, is an excellent choir singer, and is captain of his cross-country running and Nordic ski teams. Emma Rule of Armstrong High School maintains a 3.98 GPA, participates in band, and is an all-state swimmer. Emma says what helped her succeed was a 9th grade teacher who told her there are 3 types of people in high school: kids who do something, kids who support the kids who do something, and the kids who stay at home and do nothing. From then on, Emma made the decision to get involved. Pretty good words of wisdom there, I think, from that teacher. Coming up, an Excell Academy school official with a pretty good jump shot.
But first in sports, the Maple Grove girls hockey team is set for its first state tournament game ever. Jay Wilcox has that and more when we come back.
It's state tournament week in girls hockey, and for the first time in program history, Maple Grove is in the tournament. The Crimson are set to begin play Thursday night as they'll skate in the last AA quarterfinal game against Lakeville South. Maple Grove beat Centennial 4-1 to win the Section 5 AA championship Friday night. It's a dream come true for the Crimson.
Oh, it's such a blast. I mean, when you win a section final game, it's awesome, and we're super excited.
We've been working for it for so long, and these girls are like my family, and I wouldn't want to have it be with anybody else, so it's just so exciting. Like, me and some of the other seniors were just like happy tears, and we couldn't control our emotions. It was so exciting.
Maple Grove was seeded 4th for the state tournament, and the players we talked to admit to being a little disappointed they weren't seeded higher. Their quarterfinal opponent, Lakeville South, has an identical 25-2 record. It's a team that Maple Grove has not seen in person.
I think Lakeville South is a team that's going to come out and they're going to be feisty, they're going to be gritty, they're going to play disciplined. I think they've got a few players that we need to watch for and make sure that we understand where they are on the ice.
We'll have highlights of the Crimson Lakeville South game plus quarterfinal round highlights from Section Boys Hockey Friday starting at 4 on 12 News. And Friday night, catch the talented Osseo and Maple Grove girls and boys basketball teams in action live on Channel 12. It's a doubleheader at Maple Grove. The girls' game is at 5:30 with the boys at approximately 7:30. The Osseo boys will be trying to complete an undefeated regular season. The road to state in boys hockey starts this week. Providence Academy had its playoff opener on Wednesday. The Lions meeting Minneapolis in Section 2A first round play. Minneapolis is in white, leading 2-1 when Ben Neal sets up Max Keom for the Rocket, a power play goal. Minneapolis goes up 3-1. Down 4-1, Providence battles back. Daniel Hadala goes to the net and surprises the goalie with a quick shot, and the Lions are within 4-2 after a period. Second period now, from behind the net, the puck gets to Ryan Hugenacker in front for the goal. Providence is within 1 at 5-4. Minneapolis isn't done scoring though. Garrett Lieb wins the race to the puck, and he puts it away to make it a 6-4 game through 2 periods. Once again, Providence battles back. Zach Geisler knocks it in before falling over the goalie here, but Minneapolis then adds an empty netter. They win it 7-5. Mild winter weather is here for the next several days, but the cold is certain to return, and that can affect your fishing luck. Terry Tuma explains in this week's Channel 12 Ice Fishing Tip.
The most frequently asked question this year is cold fronts, weather patterns affecting fish. And does it make a difference? Absolutely. And I hear so often, well, how can a cold front affect winter fishing? It's cold outside, the water is cold. Yes, but it's the barometer that also relates to that. And generally speaking, with the barometer rising, that's going to be a tougher fishing scenario. When it's steady, that's the best, or when it's dropping is also a major improvement. It takes 3 days in the wintertime for that pattern to settle down, and you can have a north wind blowing for 3 or 4 days. You're going to have a good bite because it's now steady. And what we have to also relate to is, is my monitor your weather. Pay attention to the weather pattern, and then, of course, you want to dress accordingly. That's obvious. But most importantly is rig up your rods and reels according to that mood of fish you're going to be fishing. For instance, if you're going to be fishing a cold front perch, you don't want to go out there with a big vertical jigging spoon or a bigger jig or a bigger minnow. What you're going to want to do is downsize that jig, a smaller jig, smaller vertical jigging spoon, and just one small minnow head. The biggest factor here, though, is that we feel these fronts are coming through, and we're going to go out there and we're going to say to ourselves, well, we're going to have a tough bite. Guess what? You're going to have a tough bite. So it's going to be confidence what you're doing today.
Thanks, Terry, and pays attention to the weather, too. He knows it all.
Yeah. Thanks, Jay.
Well, coming up, a local school official who challenges anyone with a good jump shot to beat the odds.
He's a sharpshooter himself, and we'll meet this academic dean from Excell Academy when we come back.
Well, here's a question. How's your three-point shot? How about your half-court shot? Brooklyn Park Charter School wants to see how you shoot the basketball.
They are leveling a challenge to NBA and WNBA players and anyone else who wants to try and beat the odds and help a school that's on a mission. It was an improbable half-court shot. Academic Dean Justin Balvin nailed it, and his students at Excell Academy went wild. Minutes earlier, Balvin also hit 13 consecutive shots in a game of Around the World. What are the odds of that? They did the math. 1 in 769 attempts for most good to great shooters, which is why the kids wanted to know, why isn't Mr. Balvin in the NBA?
That's when I remind kids that I'm almost 36 years old and not good enough to play in the NBA, and I never was. But, you know, they see me hit 10 shots in a row and they're like, pros aren't doing that. Why aren't you in the NBA? But it doesn't work like that.
Justin's sharp shooting did serve as an example for his students. He beat the odds, and so are they, by improving their test scores and reducing the achievement gap in this high-poverty pre-K through 8th grade public charter school. Yet the school's needs persist. 30 Chromebooks serve 430 students, and outdated computers and a shared playground are fueling a unique fundraising effort.
We're in desperate need of getting caught up to the 21st century. We also are in need of a playground. We are currently sharing a playground with the school next door, and there are big chunks of the day where we're not able to use it because they're on it.
So it's back to the court with a challenge for the public. Make a pledge and upload a video of yourself giving it a shot to beat the odds.
We'd like anybody who's a basketball player to try and complete the Beating the Odds challenge, and that is to make 13 shots in a row in a modified game of Around the World.
Excell Academy wants this fundraising challenge to take off. Think the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge that was done a few years ago. Use the hashtag Beating the Odds Challenge when you upload your video to Twitter or Facebook. Obviously, they're hoping a lot of people miss and then make a donation.
It's hard to do all of that.
Yeah, right.
But if you miss, then you pay.
Then
right?
you pay.
Okay,
That's exactly how it goes. That does it for us. Thanks so much for joining us.
And we'll see you back here again tomorrow.